Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys what I picked up during the Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday sale 2021. I gotta say that the sale was pretty I don't know, it was all right. I noticed some stuff that was already kind of leaked earlier before the sale started, which is kind of rare. It never really happens for Vinegar Syndrome. And I grabbed some stuff, some partner label stuff, some vintage, like a box set, some stuff that I wanted to grab earlier in the year. But let's get started with the November slate. We have 5 titles along with the VSP and the VSA. So the first one is sort of the belle of the ball here. Flesh for Frankenstein, directed by Paul Morrissey. This is from 1973. Of course, it was a Andy Warhol production, but honestly, he really had nothing much to do with it, to my knowledge. We got Blood for Dracula earlier in the year from Severin, and this set is just absolutely stunning. As you can see, 2 slipcovers. One is a 4K 2D version, and then the other disc has the red and blue 3D and the more Avatar 3D. I don't have a 3D TV, so I probably won't be watching it in the Avatar 3D, but I will watch the red and blue maybe a little bit, see how far it kind of goes and it takes the story. But this is just an incredible set, and if you've already purchased it, I'm not going to open it up just because I think you'd want to be surprised while watching this and checking out the artwork and everything that Vinegar Syndrome put together for the first time. So that's Flesh for Frankenstein. Definitely an incredible set. Even the stitches kind of like have like these grooves to it. Looks incredible. Definitely a definitive version of a film that I've never seen before because it just hasn't been available in the States for so long. I think the last disc release was a Criterion DVD back in the early 2000s. So that is Flesh for Frankenstein. Alrighty, our next title is Creature from 1985. Yeah, I know nothing really about this one. I recall it being on Amazon Prime years ago, like one of those movies once you pass like the 30 top horror films or science fiction films, you'll find like Creature. It has Klaus Kinski in it, of course, from his infamous Nosferatu adaptation, amongst many other films. But this looks like a lot of fun. It's sort of like an Alien kind of ripoff, and also includes 2 cuts of the film. So Creature looks like something that might be right up my alley. Okay, next is a title I'm really looking forward to revisiting. This is Dario Argento's Trauma from 1993. Has a pretty stellar cast. Piper Laurie, Brad Dourif, of course, Ozzy Argento in a brief role, a few others, and Tom Savini did the makeup effects on it as well. This was one of Argento's few U.S. productions. I think the other one was Two Evil Eyes, of course, with George Romero. And this one, I don't remember if it ever had like a Anchor Bay DVD release far back, but it's long overdue for this to come out. Loads of special features, just a gorgeous slipcover. Here's the back in case you're curious. But reading the description, it's kind of like Argento's return to form, although I do enjoy the films that he made in the 80s, like Opera and Phenomena, but maybe more like the classic stuff like the Animal Trilogy or Deep Red. I don't know what they're referring to, but this is a great looking slipcover, and this one is, again, like I said, long overdue. So that is Trauma from 1993. Now we're moving on to the secret titles, which, to be honest, one was leaked, or kind of was like the one everyone was sort of guessing that it was going to be, and that's Ebola Syndrome in 4K. This is a notorious Hong Kong Category 3. Seems like a sort of a splatter flick. Couldn't really tell you what it is. I'm getting like Takashi Miike vibes, but perhaps something a little bit more on the gnarlier side. There's a slipcover. It's a 4K disc. Also comes with a booklet with sort of writing from the director. I think he did either Untold Story or Man Behind the Sun. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. Maybe he did both. I remember seeing his name under maybe one of those two films, but those are both like I think Cat 3 titles. So interesting release for Vinegar Syndrome. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this. So I myself am looking for some sleaze, and Bowl of Syndrome looks kind of right up my alley. So definitely might check out that one tonight. So that's the Bowl of Syndrome. Lastly, for a secret title, we have Steel and Lace. This one was taking a lot of people by surprise, honestly. I love sort of the neon pink and the baby blue. Here's the back. Excellent stuff. The plot is really bizarre. It's basically a woman who is sexually assaulted, causes her to commit suicide, and her brother is like this mad scientist of sorts, and he decides to sort of reanimate her, but like kind of as a cyborg, I guess, so they could both take revenge on those who provided her with this, terrible trauma and caused her to kill herself. So I don't know if it's going to be played straight, if it's going to be played a little bit more B-movie, kind of thing, but I'm getting vibes of like Frank Henenlotter a little bit with a revenge twist. So that's Steel and Lace. Again, never heard of it. I think it also has a feature-length documentary sort of talking about the production behind the film and such. So that is Steel and Lace. So before I go into the VSA titles, I have to grab a sip of Two Roads Little Heaven, locally brewed here in good old Connecticut. It's a crushable IPA, not sponsored by this video. Moving on to VSAs. First up, we have Tiger Claws. 1, 2, and guess what? 3. Never seen these movies before, but they seem like kung fu martial arts films. Cynthia Rothrock is featured, as you can see. Not as like a main lead or anything, but she is involved in the films, and these kind of, I can't tell if they are kind of in the vein of a serious kung fu martial arts films, or are they kind of more on the sillier side. But that's Tiger Claws 1, 2, and 3. And of course, this one just absolutely looks ridiculous. TC 2000. If this wasn't a Vinegar Syndrome title, I don't think I would have this in my collection. This looks absolutely insane and dumb for good reasons, I guess. I mean, look at this cover. Wow. Okay, getting a lot of vibes here. But anyway, those are the VSAs. I like when they do the action VSA as opposed to horror, because we're already getting so much horror for Vinegar Syndrome and now other labels like Saturn Core and stuff. So the fact that they are doing action is making the VSA less like archive and more like VS action or something. So, all right. Before we get into sort of the older catalog stuff, I also grabbed Censor, which is the Vinegar Syndrome Pictures title. Don't know how often they're going to be doing these, because the last one was New York Ninja. Also, the case is a little bit similar to, like, say, Ticks. Focus, please. Anyway, this is from 2021, the year of our Lord, 2021. And it's sort of this psychological horror film that has a backdrop of the video nasties behind it. It's a British film shot on 35 millimeter. I enjoyed it the first time when I rented it in the summer. And when Vinegar Syndrome decided to put this out, I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Originally it was going to be a 4K. Now it's just a Blu-ray, but still, I highly recommend checking it out. So that's Censor. Okay, our next titles are those that came out earlier this year that were not on sale until the sale. So I decided to grab them and sort of fill out the collection for the year. So first thing we got is The Fear from the 90s. Wes Craven is in this, for what I can understand from reading stuff on the forums. So looks okay. I've heard mixed things. I've heard terrible things about this one, though. Last Gasp. I hate that title. No special features. Robert Patrick is in it. I don't know. It's not going to sell me on the movie, Robert Patrick, but, got to finish the collection. But I'm surprised there's like no special features. That's kind of peculiar. Our next title is The Cellar. This is from the director of Night of the Demons, Witch Trap, and Witchboard. And apparently the film like had a really difficult production, and he was thrown into the mix to try to help salvage the film. So there's two cuts of the film. There's a theatrical and his intended director's cut. So that's pretty cool. Then I just grabbed the July titles, Through the Fire, also known as Gates of Hell Part 2. Very nice. Love this artwork. It's kind of got a glossy finish to it. Then The Lamp, also known as The Outing, which was originally part of a double bill from Scream Factory. Very nice. There's the back. Yikes. That looks like that hurt. That's The Lamp. And lastly, Killer's Delight. Kind of look like a sort of a proto-slasher. The back of it kind of looks similar to the Death Promise slipcover. I don't know if it was the same design, but it's like the tagline on the back and kind of similar, but that's Killer's Delight. All right, sorry if there has been a slight change in the framing. My boiler went on, so I had to wait like 10 minutes to re-record, so here we are. And we're now going to be talking about the Rudy Ray Moore collection. I already owned all 4 films, which are Dolomite, The Human Tornado, Petey Wheatstraw, and Disco Godfather. So I'm one of those guys who grabbed an empty box. Yeah! But this set looks absolutely amazing. Just a perfect representation of all of the little moments from each film, because all of them are kind of different in their own right. Dolomite and The Human Tornado are the only ones to feature Dolomite. Petey Wheatstraw is a totally different kind of movie. Words can't describe. And Disco Godfather is just a riot. So if you don't own the Rudy Ray Moore films, this is now the perfect time to have them in a beautiful box set that is definitely going to stick out, because I keep my Vinegar Syndrome stuff by Spine. And real quick, let's see if I can maneuver this. The inside opens up and you got like 4 stars. It looks sort of a American, I don't know, themed. Beautiful sets, highly recommended. And yes, I was one of those people who just bought the box. So, but I could care less. This looks incredible. So that's the Rudy Ray Moore set. And lastly, we have a couple titles from AGFA. This one has been on my radar for months since it came out, and that is The Curious Dr. Hump. Gosh, this looks weird. This is from AGFA and Something Weird Video. Just looks really kind of bizarre. I know Luke Mick recommended this one, but this one's been on my radar for a while. No one really had to recommend this one for me, because I love all the stuff that AGFA does. They really do put out just a lot of weird, strange, bizarre stuff. So I'm happy to own this one. And lastly, we have She Freak. It got to that point in the night during the sale, and I had a couple drinks. Of course, it was Thanksgiving, sort of, and I was like, all right, I really need to just get as much stuff as I can, or just get AGFA stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm going to jump the shark. Jump the gun. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. It's been a long day. She Freak. I grabbed She Freak. This looks absolutely insane. It looks like a combination of, I don't know, Todd Browning's Freaks meets like John Waters or Herschel Gordon Lewis. That just looks... Or the movie Freaked from the 90s. This looks absolutely bonkers, bananas. Consider me a fan. I love all the stuff, again, that AGFA does. And with that being said, that is everything that I picked up during the sale. So there you have it, guys. That is my Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday pickup video. Thank you once again for subscribing and commenting, leaving such nice messages, following me on Instagram and Letterboxd. All that stuff is down below. And until next time, I will see you all later. Stay awesome, stay positive, and take care.